Unlike most big cities in the world that are in irregular shapes, the old Beijing is a big rectangle. This big rectangle are made up of many small rectangle blocks full of quadrangle houses. Tourists love to walk on the narrow roads in the old city that are called Hutong.
Hello, I'm Yan Yan. I'm in Beijing on Shijia Hutong. Hutong in Beijing dialect means small alleyways. They are the must-see for those who visit Beijing, and there are Chinese-style quadrangle houses on both sides. But I assure you, after you walk along several hutongs in Beijing, in most cases, you won't be able to visit any quadrangle house, and you'll know nothing about it.
What you'll see is one gate after another and a row of windows in between. After I had accidentally found two museums near where I live, I filmed this video to demonstrate the Quadrangle House in detail and to let you know where to go to see it. I'll start this video from a museum inside the Quadrangle House on Shijia Hutong. Prince William visited the museum during his trip to China in 2015. The museum was one of the projects sponsored by his father's foundation. This is where I first learned about the layout of Quadrangle House of Beijing. Now let me demonstrate it for you.
This is a typical quadrangle house in Beijing. The main entrance to the house is usually located on the lower east side. Inside, there is a screen wall.
Screen wall is a popular structure in traditional Chinese houses. It stops outsiders from peeking into the house and gives more privacy to the family. In addition, Chinese believe it stops the evil spirits from getting into the house and avoids the loving and warm vibe of the family from going away.
The first row is called the opposite house because it's facing the opposite side. It's usually the dorm for the servants of the family.
The windows of the opposite house are what you would see on the Hutong.
The first courtyard and the second courtyard are separated by the second door.
The house which this model is based on had been modified. The second gate was replaced by a room. Let's look at the different model displayed in this museum. This is what a typical second gate looks like. It's called floral pendant gate. There are two pendants below the eave of the gate. The second gate and the wall attached to it separate the space of the family from the space of the servants. The second open yard and houses around it are the space of the family members. The houses are interlinked by a corridor around the open yard. Family members could simply sit on a bench of the corridor for some leisure time. During rainy days, one doesn't have to get wet when walking around the house.
These two wing houses are for the sons of the family.
Usually, the elder son lives in the east wing house because Chinese regard the east more revered than the west. The house in the center is the principal house, and it's the house of the parents.
And these two side rooms are usually study room or just some spare rooms.
Many quadrangle houses have more than one open yard like this.
The row behind is for the daughters of the family and their mates. That's it.
Again, this part of the house was modified. Originally, there was only one row of rooms. When this innermost yard was sold separately, the new owner added another row of house in the center of the yard. The Quadrangle House of Beijing emphasized social hierarchy. The outermost open yard, which was for lower class, is only a small stripe and is strictly separated from the inner yards with a wall. Men of the household live in the center with his wife. Concubines and sons live in the wing houses. Daughters of the family live in the innermost yard of the quadrangle house with their mates until they get married and move to their husband's house. This is the exterior of this innermost house. Outside is a different Hutong. So when you walk on Hutong, you only get to see a row of windows on each side. They are either the windows of the opposite house for servants or the windows of the innermost house for daughters. That's basically your Hutong experience.
The museum is also located in a quadrangle house, but it looks different. The entrance is facing the principal house directly. That doesn't look right. Actually, this is the innermost courtyard of a quadrangle house. The entrance is on a different Hutong a block away. I'll show you.
This is the museum, and the entrance to the museum is on the northern side of the house on Shijiang Hutong. Originally, this entire column is a quadrangle house with 6 open yards. The entrance to the house is on the southern side on Ganmian Hutong.
This was the original main entrance to this ancient quadrangle house. Do you know what this stone was used for? It used as a step for people to get off the horse.
This only exists outside the mansion of aristocrats. This was what the house looked like during late 19th to early 20th century. The innermost 2 yards, which were originally gardens, were given by the owner of the house to his daughter as a marriage gift. This is the daughter's drawing of her house. The Prince Foundation and Chaoyang District government cooperated to turn the 2 yards into a museum in 2013. With the knowledge we learned in this museum, let's go to a relatively well-restored quadrangle house and we'll apply our knowledge to a real house.
Inside the main entrance is the screen wall. And this way,
This is a different type of screen wall which is embedded into the existing wall. This is the second gate, and it's a floral pendant gate.
usually here is a corridor.
The floral pendant gate is usually embedded into the corridor. The inner door in the center would be open only for very important guests. On a normal day, the inner door would be shut and people access the interior yard via the corridor. Unfortunately, the corridor of this house was not restored.
And this is the courtyard for the family of the house. These two are the wing house, and this one is the principal house. Let's go. This is the rear yard.
This doesn't look like the innermost yard of a quadrangle house where there is a row of rooms for daughters. There is actually one more yard, but it's locked. So this is actually not a complete house, but it's the best one I can show you. The majority Quadrangle House of Beijing follow the pattern I just demonstrated, but there are also variations. I love flipping through this book in which each Quadrangle house has some unique designs. In this house, the main gate is on the west side instead of being on the southern side. So is this house. Some quadrangle houses only have one open yard, but it doesn't prevent a small family from living happily inside. In this house, the screen wall is located inside the second gate. Same with this house. The second gate of this house is not a floral pendant gate, but a gate that's often seen in Chinese gardens. Instead of a narrow stripe, the outermost yard in this house is almost as big as the other yards, contradicting the common design of the quadrangle houses of Beijing that emphasizes social hierarchy. Another unique design lies in the innermost yard, where there is a corridor that interlinks the two principal houses. In the 19th century, as Westerners started to build embassies, hotels, and cathedrals in Beijing, the houses in Beijing started to incorporate Western elements. There is a Western-style building inside this quadrangle house. This house combined Beijing style with Western style. As much as I would like to take you to visit these beautiful houses, a sad fact is most of the houses in this book have been torn down. But there are still two I can show you. This house has a western facet. Different from traditional quadrangle houses that have only one story, this building has 3 stories. It looks like a department store rather than a residential house. It seems like it has only one open yard, but since I couldn't get inside, I don't really know the layout of the house. This house also has a unique facet. The original gate was a floral pendant gate with a patio on the second floor. Very unique. It also has Western-style windows. There was a photo studio in this building in the early 20th century, but now it's like this. A portion of quadrangle houses in Beijing have been torn down in the past 20 years to build shopping malls and skyscrapers. The remaining ones are mostly in a very pathetic status. I'll show you 2 in the same area.
This Quadrangle House used to be the house of a Mongolian aristocrat. Let's go inside to see what it looks like today.
The screen wall is not visible anymore. This narrow stripe is the outermost open yard. This is the second gate. The supposed floral pendant gate lost its color. This is the first yard inside the second gate. There's no corridor anymore, and we can't really see the wing houses and the principal house. The space has been converted into different houses that even occupied some of the space in the open yard. This is pretty much the current status of most quadrangle houses in the city. This is the kitchen. I don't want to hide my mixed feelings towards Beijing. It's really disappointing to see houses with cultural and historical values in the capital city of China for 6 centuries either torn down or like this. Here is another one. The screen wall is retained. The outermost yard is a long stripe and again occupied by different houses. The tires on the ground reminded us it was a mint in the Qing dynasty. No wonder most Chinese don't know what an authentic quadrangle house is like. This is what we see in real life. Back to the Hutong Museum I showed you in the beginning of the video. I guess now you should know how difficult the project was. They had to evacuate the dozens of households living in the house and then tear down the houses the residents built. After that, the constructors built the new buildings. The document doesn't reveal the cost of the project, but it's unlikely to be a small number. I have accepted the fact that many beautiful quadrangle houses have been torn down and are gone forever. I've also accepted the fact that most remaining quadrangle houses have been severely damaged and wouldn't be able to go back to their original status. But I think it's not over-demanding to request for a quadrangle house museum built in a well-restored quadrangle house where visitors could see every basic element from the main gate all the way to the rear house, the interior design, furniture, and even better, the heating system that are used in traditional houses in North China. Before this dream is realized, you can check out the sites in this video next time when you visit Beijing. Thanks for watching the video. I'm Yan Yan. I make videos about sites of interest in China and histories and stories behind them. Subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.